Hey. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Much appreciated. I once again could not figure out how to do the landscape thing. I'm really bad at this stuff. So here we are in portrait mode again on the YouTubes, the live YouTubes. And again, my hair looks crazy. So yeah, we had 20 people in here. That's great. That's really great. So taking a little break from recording today to be working on my pedal board. I've had some things come up I've needed to make some changes on, so I'm doing that before a gig on this Saturday. Thank you. This is my Delaney Guitars Archangel 7, my signature 7-string guitar. This is the prototype for it. I love this thing. It's really great. If you go to DelaneyGuitars.com, you can order one. They are custom built to order. Solid swamp ash body, maple neck, ebony fingerboard, jumbo frets, 6100 or 6105, I don't remember. DiMarzio Crunch Lab liquefier, and I forget what this guy's called. It's not an Evolution. It's another it's the only 7-string single coil that DiMarzio makes. So had to have that. Cool DiMarzio electronics, multi-switch 5-way, volume, tone, all the gizmos for the kids and the guitars. So yeah, trying to stay faithful and committed to doing my once a week live stream until I really get my YouTube channel plan up and rolling, which is probably going to be a little bit until I at least finish recording this one song. I want to get it released in May, and it's going well. Drums sound great. Sean O'Rourke tracked the drums for me, and he played his ass off, and he sounds great. And he recorded the drums incredibly well, and they sound fantastic. And I have since finished recording all of the rhythm guitars. So I think we're just down to replacing the main melody guitars if I'm going to replace them. The scratch stuff sounds pretty good. I think I can probably get a little better fidelity. I tend to do that stuff pretty quick, so it makes me go back and do a good final version. So that's coming up next week. So this week is all about pedalboard business. One thing I had to add, I don't normally use a wireless unit, so I have added a wireless unit to my pedalboard. Not that that's a big change, but it's a big change. I usually use a 20-foot cable, and with Jesse's girls, we're on in-ear monitors, and also Falcon Car Wash, we use in-ear monitors. But I've been using a wired pack as well as wired to my pedalboard, so I don't travel too far from my pedalboard. I stay in the back line. And we're trying to change some things up and get me mobile, doing some fun running around stuff, which I'm happy to do with a cable, but that's usually, even though I'm in the back line, I'm up front with everybody else, so I can run around. But Jesse's girls, we've got anywhere from 5 to 6 people singing and dancing at the front of the stage at any given time. So my running around is not something I should do randomly. So we're working that in. So that's a new addition. And while I was pulling my pedalboard apart to work on that, I took the opportunity to make a couple other changes. I have since added the Digitech Freakout onto my pedal. I've had it for a while, and I've been writing with it on another tune that's going to be on the record. So just having it on the pedal board so that I can keep playing with it, really dialing it in. It, of course, responds differently to different guitars and different pickups. So these pickups are a little higher output than the guitar that I wrote that song on. So trying to figure out the right dialing in. The harmonic tends to take off a little earlier on this guitar than it does on the other one. So just dialing that in, that's fun. And then the other thing I wanted to do was I have the Tonex One Joe Satriani signature pedal, and it sounds great. And it came with all of the Joe Satriani library of captures of his personal amps. And they all sound great. And Tonex is really cool. I've been using a Line 6 HX Stomp for a lot of these gigs where we're going direct, so it keeps for a quieter stage. So I've been using that. And the only thing about the HX Stomp is it's a little throttled back in terms of DSP compared to the big Helix. So if there's other things that I want to do that are a little more DSP heavy, it tends to not allow me to do those things. So since I have the Tonex and it sounds so good, I wanted to integrate it into my pedal board so that I could use the HX Stomp for all the other things. Even the amp modeling and stuff really sounds great in the HX Stomp. I'm definitely not complaining about that. But when I'm doing that, I tend to favor all the DSP going to that, and then I don't have much room to add any other fun effects. So just been going back and forth, dialing in a Tonex capture that sounds pretty faithful to the kind of thing that I've been using inside the Helix anyway. So I could free up that DSP and just do that. Hey Chris, what's happening? I was just explaining that I've wired in the Tonex One into my pedal board. I did put it in the effects loop of my HX Stomp. So that is now doing my amp modeling. and it sounds great. So yeah, it sounds really, really good. I didn't even really change anything. I went in and basically used the one capture that I've been playing on the most since I got the pedal, and then I found a clean sound that works pretty good too. I forget what it's even called, but it sounds thusly. And that's just the clean sound, and then I've got a delay set up with my halo. That sounds Leslie. The ambiance, as it were. Inside the HX Stomp, I have that reverse delay that I was. Do you have to edit the capture switch? No, actually I didn't. I did mess around with, I finally got into the Tonex editor. I did turn off a few things. It had a built-in compressor going, gate, reverb, modulation and stuff like that. I just turned off everything that I didn't want, adjusted the gain to where I wanted it, and then just level matched the output between the clean channel and the dirty channel, or capture. They're two different amps, I think. Sorry about that reverse delay thing. It's fun. It's super fun. But it sounds really good. And that's pretty much the clean sound. I think I may have a little compressor on in the HX Stomp just for love, because we use in-ear monitors, so we try to keep a pretty quiet stage. So getting some sustain sometimes is. So it's still a little clean for me, right? And then if I need it, I've got another overdrive on the Helix as well. You know, if I want to do that foolishness. But it sounds really good. what is that, MT2 in front of it? I think I'm using the, I guess it's like the King of Tone, or the Heir Apparent. It's like the Prince of Tone. So it's the single thing. It's just like I've got an MXR Duke of Tone on my small travel pedal board that sounds really good. So I wanted to put that on this board as well without having an extra pedal. And since I'm saving the DSP by not having the amp model on the Helix anymore, now it's in the Tonex, I've got room to do fun stuff like that. Like I can take my usual Univibe off my board and do this, which is nice. I don't want to play that because I'll get copywritten, I think, for sure. But that's a pretty good Univibe. So that's some fun stuff I've got going on. Then for extra fun, I have an Octaver. Oh yeah, Metal Zone, that is what I need. You gotta have that somewhere in your arsenal of things. But yeah, I think it's turned out pretty well. And if I took a picture, and that is the thumbnail for this video. You can see the layout. That I haven't quite tidied up all the cables yet, but that's the routing I've got going, and I'm pretty happy with it. It seems tidy. It's a little tight across the front of the pedal board. I've got some room to maybe space some things out, so when I do turn things off and on, I'm not kicking stuff I don't need to be kicking. I'm actually debating as well. This pedal board is an old, who makes this? This is a Gator gig box is what it's called. And it's really great. It's an all-one case where the pedal board can come out, and then all of your cables can go up underneath that, and then you cover that with the pedal board. And then the top is a guitar stand. So that holds 3 electrics and 1 acoustic guitar. So you can have all of that stuff really in one tidy thing. And it's got TSA locks on it. You can fly with it and all that stuff. It's been really handy. I've had it for a long time. I've beaten the heck out of it forever. And I do also have a couple of pedal train boards. Not the super giant ones, but probably comparable to the size of this one. The nice thing about the pedal train board is it's a bit more robust, and it's got slats, so I can do my wiring up underneath. Also get my power supply up underneath. As you can see, I've got a stereo DI on the board too. I can put that up underneath because I don't really need to have foot access to any of that stuff. So I am thinking about migrating everything over to this other pedal train pedal board at some point, maybe this summer. I do love the idea of that, especially now since I am committed to doing the wireless thing. I don't have as many cables to tuck up underneath the pedal board anyway, so I don't really need so much in terms of that extra storage. But I've been looking at some other guitar cases, like the dual N-key cases. Those look really cool. There's another one I've been looking at that I can't remember the name of, but they make a triple guitar case that I think with three guitars. I watched Ola Englund do a review of one. I think he put 3 guitars in there, and it came in under 50 pounds, which is usually the amount where they start charging you extra weight. If anyone's in the North Georgia area, you're invited to Mike's Masterclass. That's right, I'm doing a Masterclass. It's the 17th of April at Northwest Georgia College and Career Academy. Yeah, you should totally come out to that. If you are in the area or don't feel like traveling, or do feel like traveling, that's only about maybe an hour and a half north of Atlanta, so it's not that far of a drive if you wanted to do that. Atlanta's still technically North Georgia. But if you're in Chattanooga, that's not that far of a place. It is free. It's free and open to the public. And we'll talk about all things, this pedalboard wiring. We'll talk about some theory stuff. We'll talk about tunes. We'll talk about music technology and stuff like that. And just, music stuff and guitar stuff. It's a good hang. We've done this. This is our 3rd annual event. So every year there's more people, and it's always great. And we take questions, and I play some tunes, and we chop it up. It's a really good time. So please tell people to come, and you should come and hang out and do the stuff with me and Chris, because Chris will be there. He's the guy who's helping me put this on. He's the mastermind behind the logistics of the event. So you can always reach out to him directly here if you have any questions. And you can message me or put something in the comments, and I'll be sure to get right back to you. We can get you address, time, all of that business. I think Chris may even have a flyer done up. I usually do a promotional video, and I've neglected to do one this year because I've been so busy. Disaster Mind. This year, that seems a bit more appropriate for how scattered I've been here lately. But yeah, recording is going well. That's the main thing, and this masterclass is happening. And then immediately after that masterclass, I am playing with Falcon Car Wash in Tennessee, and I'm trying to remember the town in Tennessee that we're playing. I can't remember, but we're doing it. If you come find me on Facebook, I think there are some flyers floating around. I will make sure that you see it. I'll be posting it around. I need to put it up on my website as well. I should post it here. Chris is going to text me a flyer. That's great, so I can be sharing that around. Tambien. Yeah, but if you're in it's not Murfreesboro. I don't think that's where we are. Let me see. I'm in front of my computer. Let me see if I can left hand. I can't left hand. Come here. It is Murfreesboro. It's at the Hop Springs Beer Park. This is April 19th. It's John Bragg Highway, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I'm playing with Falcon Car Wash. I believe it's an all-day event. There's a bunch of bands playing. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. You should probably be there. And if you're not there, if you know people in the area, they should be there. They could come down from Nashville's not that far of a drive. Chattanooga is also not that far of a drive. If you guys are feeling like day tripping, come on, get on the road and come hang out at the beer park. And we'll have a hootenanny. And I'll play some guitar for you. And some other bands will play some music for you too. And then we can just hang out doing stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot more public gigs. So I want to see you guys. I want to hang out with you guys. So come find me. You only have a picture of the flyer. Okay, so he's found that. So I will make sure to post that in the chat when I get a chance. I don't want to awkwardly do the old man thing and fool with my phone and try to figure out how to do that. Play some music, please. Okay. What could I possibly play? Let me, That's that. That's that. Let me see. New pedal board. What to do? Let me do Univibe. keep it a little psychedelic. Do a little something off of, I don't know. This is something, an improvisation centered around the idea of dragonflies. There you go, a little improvisation on a theme I call dragonflies. Let's see. That's sweet. Thank you very much. Slow blues. I could play some slow blues. It's more fun to play a slow blues with a band. You can hear the progression without backing chords. I work on that a lot. Yeah, that's like the thing I work on probably the most. I have played a lot of classical guitar, certainly. Yeah, yeah. The nails on actually the camera's reversed. I'm right-handed, so the nails are on my right hand. Thank you, thank you. I work hard on all the right-handed stuff. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I'm doing this on my phone. For some reason, I have an old laptop that I used to live stream on, and I have a separate webcam for that. And for some reason, that computer, I guess the operating system is just old enough it's not letting me do it. So I've got to figure out a new setup for all of that business. So yeah. It's Jewy, it's gooey, it's all the things with all the lovely effects and stuff. Really liking the Tonex. I really think it sounds good. It's inspiring to play. You were selling a guitar on Facebook and posted a solo with the ad, and like 3 people told me I was faking because the guy in the video was left-handed. Yeah, internet people, man. Like, they're fun. They're a lot of fun. Chris emailed me the flyer. Non-students will not be able to join the Google Classroom. Yeah, since this is kind of started out as a available to students in the high school, Chris, being one of the teachers at the high school, set up a Google Calendar just for the students. So when I do post the flyer, if you see it, it will mention the Google Calendar, but general public can't join that. That's just for students, so we can keep up with them young folk who are going to participate in all of that business. All right, Chris, I will talk to you later. We'll catch up early next week about stuff and things as we continue to commiserate about plans of attack and education and other things that I can say about when I'm not so thoughtful about what I'm talking about. So that's really it for me this week. Like, I'm just trying to do a few things. I'm trying to stay committed to doing a live stream, to get something up on YouTube every week. I think it's helping. I have noticed that when I'm just generally watching YouTube, now some of my older videos are starting to pop up as suggested videos. So I think the algorithm is starting to catch on that my channel is active again. So I want to thank all of you guys for hopping on with me and just being a part of this while I'm figuring out how to reactivate all of this stuff. And then the main thing this week, recording is just going well. That's the report on all of that. I'm very excited about that. I can't wait for you guys to hear this first tune, Learning to Sleep, is really sounding good. I don't want to jinx it, but usually when it sounds this good, and I'm only so far along into production, like all I can do is mess it up from here. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to just let it be exactly what it is, and I think you guys will dig it. I know I'm pretty happy with it. That's not always the case, but I am pretty happy with it. So that's exciting. The pedal board stuff. If you guys have any questions about the way that I'm routing anything or doing anything, it's pretty straightforward. I am utilizing the effects loop in the HX Stomp to do some of this stuff, so I've got stuff before the HX Stomp, and then I go into the HX Stomp. There's a couple of effects. I think that's where I've got the compressor, the overdrive, and the univibe. Then the effects loop goes out into the Tonex, acting as my amp. And then after that, I'm using a TC Electronics Spark, just for a lead boost, like a 3 to 4 dB goose, just to give it a lift when I need to get up over the band during a loud solo. And then after that goes into the Keeley Halo, and I'm just running it mono. Jesse's Girls is a big band. It's a 12-piece band, so we have run out of inputs for everything. So I could run this board stereo, but for Jesse's Girls, we do most stuff mono, because there's just not enough inputs for me to be stereo. So I've got everything wired in mono right now. Sounds really lovely when it's in stereo, especially the Halo sounds really good in stereo. It has a nice kind of dreamy, sweet quality to it. They did a really good job with that delay pedal. And then I think the only other thing I have on the HX Stomp right now is that reverse delay that I'm working in. I'm using that one for that tune Dragonflies when I get to recording that. And I'll probably start performing it when I start gigging. And there's another tune that I'm working on that will be on this record that I'm working on finishing now called Limerence. And the solo it needs that psychedelic kind of vibe to it, where it's a little swirly and syrupy and moving in both directions. So keeping that as a part of that. I think the other interesting thing about this pedal board is I've been trying to figure out a way where when I'm not going direct like this, if I was to use a regular tube amp and a cabinet, how I could wire this up 4-cable method to be able to do everything. And I think this wiring, where I break out of the effects loop, was where I would go into the front of my amp, whether it's my Splon or my Marshall or something. And then that can just go purely to the amp. I guess I could use the effects loop out from there into the delay pedals, and then back into the head, and then somehow break back into the HX Stomp. But I wouldn't need it for the Stomp for going direct. I would only need it for the effects, right? So it just adds a few more cables to being able to do that. And then I could essentially have everything as I've got it now, except without the Tonex. It would just be with whatever amp I'm using. So that's kind of fun. I don't know that that's how I will work this out for doing that stuff, because there are things I'm going to be doing where I think for most of the gigs that I do, I will prefer to play a real amp. And you guys let me know how you feel about that. If you're going to go see an all-instrumental guitar gig, everybody likes to check out the pedal board and what everybody's using on that stuff. But if you were just going to watch a guitar player, would you rather see the technology and everything being on the board and it's direct and it sounds good, it sounds like good captures or models of amplifiers? Or do you prefer, if you're gonna see somebody swing the hammer, do you want to see some 412 cabinets up there and a 100-watt head or two, and really see the pant leg flapping from the air moving off the speakers? How do you feel about that? Like, I kind of feel like that's what I want to do. If I'm a guitar hero, which guitar hero, I don't even know what that means. But if I'm a guitar performer, it seems like, the best of what I can produce tonally should be what I present to audiences. And I definitely prefer live cabinets and a head. It always sounds better to me. That's just always the case. Um, but this Tonex sounds really good. I've been happy with the HX Stomp. Like, I've played plenty of gigs with it. This weekend will be my first gig with the Tonex. I'll report back to you next week to let you know how I feel it goes. Um, but I think just all the playing I've done here at home, I think it's going to sound pretty good because I can compare it to other amp models that I've already set up that I've used live that I know sound really good. So that's most of what I've done today, is just kind of make sure I'm not too far off track with what I normally go with, and that it integrates the way that I want it to. And so far, I think it's good. I'm really impressed with it. Um, I was immediately impressed with the HX Stomp when I got it, and I've avoided the Tonex stuff for a while because I didn't necessarily worry about another modeling, capture, profiling thing. You kind of get in to whatever your what your predilection would be for that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of people that can afford to have all the things, but seems like for the most part you get in where you can really try something out, and then you go, if you're unhappy with that, you try out the next thing, and then maybe you trade up or something like that. Or if you like the architecture of whatever it is you're using, you stay in that lane. So I've been pretty happy with the Line 6 stuff. I've got plenty of friends who use Kempers, they use fractals for lots of different things, and I know they're all great. The thing that is interesting about this Tonex stuff, beyond the captures that it came with, like this pedal came with all of the Joe Satriani captures. So if you're not familiar with that, Joe captured most of the amps, if not all of the amps, in his private collection. And the Tonex One has 20 presets on it that Joe made up. So they're all tweaked to his liking. But then on my computer, on the Tonex software, I actually have there's some 30 amp models in there of just varying iterations of different heads, different cabinets, different combos, different things that Joe has had forever and he's been recording with and touring with. They all sound really great. I spent probably the better half of a day just going through them and playing on them, and they really do sound fantastic. So good that I don't necessarily know that I need to go get more captures. That's kind of the thing, is like, once you have a great capture of a Marshall or of a 5150 or anything, do you need 10 more different captures? And I don't know enough about them. I know there is a difference between profiles, captures, and modeling. Modeling seems to not only model the amp, but all of the tone stack and how it interacts, every knob, everything in the signal. So when you pull up whatever the amp is, it should act like a model of that amp. Whereas a profile or a capture, from what I understand, and I'm just learning about it, is more of a snapshot of the state of the amp as it's captured or profiled. So for me, that would be great, because I have these great amps back here. The Splon Quick Rod has been my number one amp for a few years now, and it's really probably my best sounding amp. And like, I don't have any slouches, but it really elevated a lot of things for me. It would be great, as much as I like using the Joe Satriani captures that I've got in the Tonex right now, if I wanted to have some parity between what I'm recording with at home or what I would take out when I do go out on the road and I bring the Splon out, bring the full rig out, if I can learn how to capture these amps decently, that would be a really great boon to me, to be able to have not just the closest I can get to what I prefer, if I could actually capture what I prefer and have that on my pedal board that I can use for fly dates, I could use for anything. That is a tremendous advance in technology for me. So kind of excited about it. Does it replace real tube amps? No, I don't think it does, but I do think it's a tool along the way, and like for silent stages and places where you can't have loud amps, it's getting better and better and better and better. It sounds more and more like the real thing every year. So I'm very excited about that. And being that I can custom tailor to my personal amplifiers, that's really fantastic. That allows me to be mobile in ways that I am mobile, but I'm mobile with concessions. I'm finding tools that do the job rather than I'm taking out confidently what I know is the arsenal that I want to be making music with. So pretty excited about that. It's just been a good day doing tech stuff here in the studio, wiring this thing up. I'll do a little bit more tomorrow. Tomorrow's got a pretty busy day reviewing music for the weekend. Just getting ready for all that. I need to start reviewing music for a few other gigs I've got coming up as well. And just keeping my hands together because next week I knock out lead guitar on this Learning to Sleep jam that I'm ready to unleash. Can you play Die With a Smile? I don't, Die With a Smile, if that's the name of a tune, I do not know that tune. So if you send it to me, maybe I can learn it and maybe I can play it another time. I'm up for the experiment, but I don't believe I know that tune. Any other questions about anything before I hop off? It's been a long day. I have not had dinner yet, and I'm pretty excited about eating some food. You guys should eat too. What is today? Thursday? Thursday, yeah, we should eat. From Bruno Mars. I do not know that tune. I do play some other Bruno Mars tunes, like, what do? We do that, oops, wrong. That was the wrong sound. Yeah, all that Bruno Mars stuff is fun. I do play that with Jesse's Girls. We also play, what is the other tune? I forget all the names of the tunes. They come up in the set and I play them, and I do my best to hang on. There's also that's a fun one to play. Yeah, I've learned Leave the Door Open, but that's got so many chords in it. If I don't review it, I will not play it because that's a lot of chords to mess up. So I'll spare you the bad playing of that stuff. But I really like Bruno Mars. So I think he's great. Yeah. So anything else music related, gear related, lesson related? I need to edit the description with my website, but Mike2 of 5 Martin.com is my website. If you're interested in any music that I've put out, you can find it there. It's all streaming. It's also on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. It's here on YouTube as well. Every place that you find fine MP3s and MP4s and sundries and stuff. If you're interested in lessons, that information is also on my website. You can check that out there. I'm in the process of working on updating the website, so there'll be a calendar page. Hopefully I'll get that updated here in the next week. So at least for the master classes coming up in the Dalton area, you guys can see that. For the Falcon Car Wash gig that's coming up in, gosh, when is that? That's in 2 weeks as well, up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You'll be able to see that. I also have some dates coming up. They're not confirmed yet with my Black Sabbath tribute called Slack Sabbath here in Atlanta. We've got some stuff for sure. I know we've got an October date, and we're looking to backfill up to present day, hopefully keep us busy through the summer. It's also a cool hippie festival that Falcon Car Wash will be playing this summer. I think that's in July. I'll get that date out to you guys. We're also playing some shows up in Indiana. I'm trying to remember if that's September or October, but that's coming up. We'll be up in the Indiana area. Yeah. Got some other fun things. There's a big gig coming up at the end of May. I'm not sure if I can announce it or tell anybody about it yet, but I think it may be open to the public. I know it's a charity event, but I think it's a charity event that's open to the public. So when I get the word on it, I will definitely let everybody know about that. That is in Oklahoma. That's a big one. And then I'm going to be doing more stuff this year, especially after the release of this new single, Learning to Sleep, comes out. Hoping to have that out by mid-May. And it'll be the first single off of my new album entitled The Light at the End of the World. So I'm excited about getting all that finished and having this record out, hopefully by the end of the year, if not early next year. And I may get at least one more single out along the way, maybe a third single out along the way. Depends on how late. If it seems like I can't get the full album out before the holidays, if it's going to be January or February next year before the full release, then I'll try to get a third single out. Keep you guys well fed on music. It's been too long that I haven't been releasing stuff, so I'm anxious to do all that. All right, I think that covers all of the things. I will make sure that I edit the description of this video, and I'll put it in the chat, my web address, so you guys can go peruse that. It's also linked on my YouTube channel. If you want to go to my channel and look at my links there, it is definitely linked there. I just know it's better courtesy to put it in the description box, so if you want to go hop over there quickly, you can certainly do that. But also all of my social media stuff, Instagram, TikTok, all the things that all the kids are doing. You know, I am one of the kids doing the stuff. I promise not to talk about things that people are just wearing out talking about on social media. I talk about music, I talk about cats, I talk about Star Wars, I talk about gear, I talk about music theory, I talk about education, I talk about philosophy. Yeah. I try to leave the current event stuff to people who like to argue on the internet. I'm not so into that. I just like to play music. All right. Well, thank all of you guys for hanging out with me. I am going to go get some dinner. And as I said, Mike2of5martin.com is the website. You can find me there and all my stuff. I'm going to get some dinner. Trying to do this once a week, so please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when I do go live, because I haven't quite got it scheduled on a regular day and time. I was hoping to do it every Tuesday, but it's been turning out Thursdays have been a little more consistent. But Thursdays kind of need to be studio days for me. So I got to work that out. So hang in there and keep up with me, and I promise I'll keep doing stuff. And keep in touch. Send me messages. Let me know what you think about stuff and things. What pedals are you using? What's on your pedal board? What are you using to go live? Are you using in-ears? Do you prefer tube amps only, and that's it, by God, and that's all you're going to do? Or are you really into modeling, capturing, profiling? And are you capturing your own amps? I would love to know what everybody's up to, because I'm sure I'm going to need some guidance, advice, and inspiration along this technological journey as I'm going down this road. All right, with that, I will say a fond adieu, and I will see you next week. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great night. Oh, there's the button. Found it.